Well, hello there. Welcome to New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. Thank you so much for being here, whether live or the live. And do drop me a comment below if you've popped on and tell me which of the questions answering today you enjoyed. Today, I'm mostly going to be answering random questions. And as I've put in the chat, if you have any questions for me, could be about my life or just random things if you're curious, then if you're on now, obviously add it in the chat, or if you're watching back later, then drop a comment below, any questions, and I often do videos answering your questions. So I will do a shout out for you for any questions you ask and make a big video on it. I love doing those because I like answering questions. So any type of question, whether it's about my life, about me, or just something random you want to know, do write it in the comments under this video, and then I will be making one big video and shout out everybody as I answer the question that you asked. So that's what we're going to do. So today I will be answering some random ones, but first, as we mostly always do on a Wednesday, I'm going to start with my mood cards, how I feel today. Let's just do this one. Wow, do you like this? I drew these. Wow, that's how I feel today. Why, wow? Well, I've got a volunteer here. So much is being done. It's great that I can focus on the bigger picture, and a volunteer will do all those things you think, I must do that, but then other things prioritise and they tend not to get done, or you're fussing around trying to get to that job. So excellent job. And I can't share too much because, as you know, I will be doing a video covering what my volunteers do. I always do that. And she's agreed already to do a video with me where I do a kind of interview. So that would be a separate video because I know. And again, if any of you have got questions that you'd like to ask one of my volunteers about what it's like to be here or that kind of thing, then get your questions in pretty quick and then I can add those to the interview. I'm sure she'll be quite happy to answer those. So that's that. I did quite well this morning. I said to Kate, the volunteer, that today I wanted to focus on YouTube and catch up with my emails and that kind of thing. And today's the day I post 3 videos. I post one on each channel. I wanted to do some shorts as well. So I said to her, I'll show you what I want you to do today. Lots of little bits because we worked really hard together yesterday. We were both quite tired, I think, afterwards. So I said lots of little jobs. But again, those little tiny things that, oh, just that. And I walked around and showed her all the little things. And I'd already been out before she got up. I wanted to water in some new things I'd transplanted and do a few bits and pieces. Again, little odd bits that I needed to do. So I did all that before she got up. And then when she got up, I showed her what to do. And then I came in. I've been literally here most of the day posting. I've got some shorts up to do go and have a look at those. I've done brief answers to some of you commenting. And I must say at this point, I so appreciate those of you who, when I said I won't be able to go on your channels, you're still commenting, you're still watching my videos, especially you new guys, only for the fact you don't know me very well. And I do get back and I do watch your channels, but obviously, while I've got a volunteer here, I'm trying to devote most of my time working together or doing the hours that they're doing as well. So I always try and do that. But I will catch up with your channels afterwards. What else do we do? I tell you what I'm reading. Obviously, I've not had too much time. I read a little bit before I go to bed at the moment and not read much more probably than last time. It's a little bit confusing because, as I say, they're not really quite telling you who's who. And it seems to be a young lad we knew of at the very beginning. I'm thinking it's now him older because they don't really say anyone's names. I'm sure it will sort itself out and it all makes sense. So yeah, it's very interesting at the moment. Not sure, well, don't know at all where it's going, and I always say that the sort of books I like. So I think it might be one of those, when you've read it, you read it again, because then it makes sense, and then you go back and maybe it's like, oh, maybe it's one of those. So I'll persevere. I think this kind of book also, for me particularly, I need to read more at once to get into the thread of what's going on, maybe. But yeah, enjoying that. And the other thing, again, didn't have too much time for this, my cross stitch. Now, I did sit and do a tiny bit, and I've actually edited a video on it today, so I won't go into too much detail. But I was sitting doing my cross stitch indoors, and we suddenly had a downpour, like really quick but heavy, and I was sitting indoors and the rain was coming in on my head. So I won't go into it because I've literally just edited a video all about that today, and I spoke briefly about it. I think last live, yes, I spoke briefly about it, but I thought, well, I'll make it all make sense, because you've got to see visually where the problem is, where the water's coming in. It's not to do with tiles, but as I say, I've just done a video on that, so I'll be putting that up probably next or the one after. Hey there, Miss Dawn. Mr. Jimmy. How are you, Mr. Jimmy? So I did a tiny bit of cross stitch. I thought I'm going to get one more vegetable done, but because of this torrential downpour indoors, I think I've called the video "It's Raining Inside the House," something like that. So look out for that coming real soon. So I didn't finish it because obviously then I was dashing trying to get tails, and being a YouTuber, you have to film it. So I did a little bit more vegetable. Look, I've started a tomato. It's a big tomato. Started the tomato up here. The missing bit's obviously going to be the leaves and the stalk. You've already seen the cauliflower, obviously my channel name. We had a carrot. I think I am going to do 2 or 3 carrots there, probably 3 random carrots. We've got the sweet corn there. We've got the leek or spring onion, and we've got a beetroot. So it's coming along slowly. Just going round and round them. Oh, thanks. It's my gardening apron. Jimmy, this is my merch, but it's so unique. There's only one of it. Can you imagine me trying to make more than one? Whoa. Yes, so it's very unique merch. And I was kind of a little bit inspired by Ashley from Ashley's Allotment Adventures. He's got a hoodie, I think it is, and I saw it one time. He was wearing it on his channel, and it's got Ashley, head gardener, and I said to him, I want one, but not with Ashley on. So yeah, but I don't want to get dirty now, so what I'm going to do is, I've said before, I'm going to put, where I'm tying up, say, tomatoes, I can put all the ball string in one and the scissors in the other, something like that. So that's what that's going to be. I did want to do a bit more so I could show you all progress on that. Oh, and I might have good news. Oh, here's a one-off. That's me, Jimmy. I'm a one-off. What I'm off on, I don't know. Yes, I have news. Now, let's hope by Monday I can show you it. On Bazaraki, I've talked about Bazaraki before. It's kind of, I think you guys have things like Craigslist and things like that. Love it. Made me laugh too much now. Got to have my cocktail. Yeah, you have Craigslist and things like that where you can get free stuff people are giving away. And we have Bazaraki. Aki means small. Bazaar, as in bazaar. Bazaraki. Clever. Random question number 1. Oh, cool. I won't answer it today, but I'll write it down because I'm going to do a video on questions. I've done two I think, before, where people ask me random questions, and now make a video and give you. I'll just say this, Jimmy, neither. I don't drink either of those. I don't drink either. If there was no other drink in the whole world apart from whiskey, I could tolerate it. I'm not a whiskey drinker. Gin, no, thank you. Right, so we're going to put the astute tourist. The astute tourist. Now I'm going to make a video answering random questions. Whiskey or gin? Excellent. I'll better put Q&A up there. I'll keep a separate sheet. Yeah, so I was saying on Bazaraki, you can buy things like eBay. You can buy things, but it's only in Cyprus. And being a small island, it's quite easy to obviously get the stuff. And there's also a free section. Now, I'm always looking on the free section. I have to go around one day and film things I've got for free. But I saw on there this week, a lady had a cross stitch. She said it's brand new, but it'd been opened. Okay, cool. Thanks for being here. She said it'd been opened, but it's all brand new, and you can see it's not been used. It's one where it's got a picture and you copy the picture. And I was just more excited that it had the, do you say Aida or Aida? Some people say Aida, some say Aida, but the material. And I was just really interested in that more than anything. And because it's a kit, it's got a bit of cardboard with holes in, and it's got the codes of the numbers where to use them and the threads attached. I thought I can use the threads. So I was really going for it for that. And she had 180 views. I thought, oh, that's gone then, hasn't it? So I just contacted her on the site, and I said, any chance it's still available? If it is, I really want it. She'd put the name of an area, and we didn't actually know the area. It's like our village. It's so small, you wouldn't really know it. So I looked it up, and they gave you, very much like Cyprus, and I think Greece is the same. You can have a name of a place, and there can be 4 or 5. I'm talking like town names. I'm not talking about like roads. Town names. You can have 4 or 5 of the same town name over the whole of Cyprus. So there were 2 quite near us, about 30 minutes or 40 minutes away. So to us, that's near. 30, 40 minutes away, and then one a long, long way away. And I said to Mike, any chance we could go to, if it's these near ones? One I knew he goes through, but the other one, not so much. And he said, well, find out where it is first. I said, I'm really interested in it, really want it, but which location are you? And she put the location. Now, I know where it is. That's about 35, 40 minutes away. And I said to Mike, you don't go that way at all, do you? And he said, oh, I'm going near there for something. He's got to go near there. And I said, oh, great. So we've arranged it for Friday for me to collect. I asked her what times. Obviously, that's got to suit Mike, the time that he's going over that way. And that all worked out. So as long as she doesn't give it away prior to that, because you do get that sometimes, but I'm hoping she'll hold it for me. And then you have on your site, if you bring up a picture, someone's selling or giving something away, it's got their name and like other information. But there's also a button you can click. I don't know if this is on any other sites, probably is. I don't use eBay or anything, so I don't know, because it's not available in Cyprus. And you can click on it, and it shows you everything else they're selling or giving away. So I clicked on that, just like, oh, I wonder if she's doing other things. Mostly it was children's clothes, but there was another cross stitch, but for sale. So that's why it didn't come up. And any of you do cross stitch kits, you'll know they're quite expensive. Well, for me. I don't know how big this is. I'm assuming it's this sort of size. I'm assuming. I didn't bother really looking. I just assumed that. And she's got another one for sale, not done again, but because it's sealed, she's selling it. So I thought, oh, right, how much is that? Just to look. And it was only €3. So I didn't say anything to her, but I thought if I go there, because I don't need that one, but if it's still available, €3, that's really good. So if we go there, I'll say to her, do you still have the other one? And if she says yes, I'll buy it. If not, I want it to go to someone else if they want it first. I wouldn't hold that because I've got the one I want for nothing. But there's a chance then that I might have one or two cross stitches. But this first one, I forget sometimes you can click and see another picture. And do you guys know you can do that on our community post page on YouTube? When you go across the top, you can hit community. And when a picture comes up, there is a little side arrow and you can often see more pictures. So you can post up to 5 pictures. So do always see if that arrow is there. So I thought after I'd arranged to go there, I clicked on it and now I can see the picture. And I think it's a Monet. And I forget, is it called the river or something river? And it's got the river going through like the middle of the picture. I don't know if you know it or not. So I thought, well, do you know what? That's quite pretty. I might just do that anyway, as it is as a cross stitch. So, yeah, why not? So that would be a future project for sure. So, yes, that's really most of my up-to-date news. As I say, I can't tell you stuff that's going to be in the videos. Excuse me. Very dry. But tomorrow I'm doing a real big job out in the garden. Might film a bit of it, and yeah, there'll be some more news coming up. As I say, today I've made a few videos, done lots of editing, and they're coming up soon. So keep your eyes out for news and updates. So let's get on with random questions. Anyone who's just tuned in, if you've got any random questions for me, put them in the comments below under this video or in the chat if you're here now. And I'm going to do a video. The video will be answering your questions and doing a shout out for you at the same time. Hey there, Treasure Trails. How are you doing? I was just watching your Cyprus short. I thought I'd stop in and say hi. That's really kind of you. That's so good. Lovely. I do like Treasure Trails. That's great. Yeah, so if you've got any questions for me, leave them in the comments below or in the chat now. And then I'm going to be making a Q&A, random questions or questions about me or about Cyprus, whatever you want to know, or just random things. And I'll do you a channel shout out when I make the video answering your questions. Okay, so answering random questions today. These aren't by viewers. These are just random questions that I got from Andrea from Digging for Health. And these are questions. So if you want to answer them, you can do. What is your favourite sandwich? Hey, Danny Days, how are you doing? You've got a new icon as well. So many people are changing their icons. I tend to look at icons before I see who's in the chat. I'm like, oh, who is that? Oh, it's Danny. Great to see you again. So what is your favourite sandwich? I'm going to say a cheese sandwich. Now, only for the fact that means a lot to my heart, because when I was growing up, let's say teenager, that sort of age group, sometimes me and my dad would stay up at night. My mum and my sisters would go to bed, and me and my dad would stay up and watch telly or film or just together time. And he'd say, oh, Dawn, go make us a cheese sandwich. And I've always loved cheese. So I'd go and make one. It has to have quite a lot of butter on, I'm afraid, to be a really good cheese sandwich. And you have to have a cup of coffee with it. And I'd go and make us coffee and the cheese sandwich. And I've always adored cheese sandwiches. Hey, Crabby the Beagle. Hello, how are you doing? Nice to see you all. Yeah, I will write all your names down because I'm doing my next live. I'm shouting out everyone in the chat from the previous live. I just thought I'd do that because I'm always doing shout outs, but I'm doing them in different ways. So I thought today I'm going to jot down everyone's name, and then the shout out on my next live, if I remember, is going to be who was on the last chat. Cool. So let's see. We've got the astute tourist. I better put shout outs on Monday because that's my next live. So we've got the astute tourist. We got Lady Travels, Treasure Trails. We've got Danny Days Ahead. We've got Crabby the Beagle. I think that's it, isn't it? If I missed, no, I haven't missed anyone. Cool. Yeah, so the cheese sandwich, that's really, and Mike really loves a cheese sandwich, so I'm going to say cheese sandwich. If any of you guys want to add your answers, what you would say, that would be pretty cool. What else? What other sort of sandwich do I like? Quite like an egg mayonnaise sandwich. Tuna sandwich, again with mayonnaise. I've said before, I like sauces and things. So there's not often I have what I call a dry sandwich or a dry dinner. I like gravy, egg sandwich. Cool, Danny. Cool. I prefer a soft roll or bap to a sandwich, really. So then we would stick in like a whole salad. So we'd have maybe tomato slices, cheese, lettuce. Your favourite sandwiches are free of charge. I love it. I love it. That is brilliant. I know that's really. Oh dear, that's so funny. I think that's the best answer going. Oh dear, can't beat that one. I'll pretty much eat anything I don't have to kill. Oh, bless you. Yeah, what else? We often have like chicken. Chicken is here again with mayonnaise. Chicken. I like a chicken sandwich. Yeah, they're my favourites. I'll say those. That's 4 answers. Okay. What crime does not deserve a punishment? Ooh, what crime? We accept fish. I've those and eaten them, caught those and eaten them. Oh, did you see yesterday on the news? It's California, I think, isn't it? That's completely flooded. And there's a man, you physically see him. All the cars stopped in the road because they were all unable to drive along. It was, they were getting stuck because they would try to go through where it was really deep. And the man was standing outside his car and someone's got it on film. And this fish, like this size, a big fatty thing, I don't know what type it was, swam down. He grabbed it and picked it up. Stealing someone's heart. Oh, yes, all from me and Danny. That's a good answer. That's a fantastic answer. Yeah, fantastic answer, that one. That's good. We'll go with that one. What helps you fall asleep? Well, bash on the head. Helps you fall asleep. Something boring, if you're like watching a film or something, it's just total drivel, we say. You can fall asleep there. Anesthetic. Anesthetic. That's it. Anesthetic. Science documentaries. Yeah, or for me, car maintenance, how the engine works and all that. I'm just not interested. We were talking the other day about Mike fancied living on like a boat. And I said, the only thing with that, I like the idea of like a canal boat, that kind of thing. But I think if you're going to live like that, you've got to know as a couple, both of you, how to run it, maintain it. I don't want a life of maintaining, says me, living off grid with things to maintain. But you know what I mean? I'm not interested in mechanical things like that. I think people are brilliant that can just look at a car and figure it all out. But obviously nowadays it's not mechanics in a car, is it? It's all computerized. So that's another skill going to be gone, unfortunately. But yes, I would say makes me fall asleep, anesthetic. That's my answer. Let's see. What is a good name for a new sickness? What's a good name for a new sickness? It could be clever, but I need to think about it. For a new sickness. Good name for a new sickness. See if you can get there before I can, because I can't think. Good name for a new sickness. That's a hard one, yes. I was waiting for you. I thought you was going to have a good one there. I thought, oh, you can't answer. It is a hard one. It's a good name for a new sickness. Try and think of like a thing. What's the question? I missed it. It's what do you do if you can't hear a question? Social media, very good. The question, Danny, is what is a good name for a new sickness? Social media, yeah, I love that. You're very good at these. You're very good at these. Oh dear. We should do points every time someone comes on when I'm doing these questions to get points. Yeah, social media. That's an excellent question. Answer. It's a question. Seems to be these days, everything is either virus or unknown. New World Order. Oh, look at you go. Well done, Danny. Excellent. Wow, excellent. Yeah, see, I couldn't even come up with one. You two are brilliant. Well done. Okay. What is one thing you could never see hanging in your home? Something invisible. It doesn't mean that. It means you would never have in your home. You could never see, not you could never see. So it's what wouldn't you? What wouldn't you ever have hanging in your home? Oh, that's easy for me. A fake plant. I don't like fake plants. I really don't. Oh, A1, very good. Or AI, isn't it? AI, artificial intelligence. OMG. That is good. I like that, actually. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm glad you've popped in today. Yes, it's one thing you can never see hanging in your home. I would never have artificial plants in my home. Definitely that. I have so many wrong answers. They're not wrong, though. This is what I like about this. Nothing's wrong. You can be funny, you can be serious, you could be creative. Yeah, exactly. Who says they're wrong? Or do you mean wrong as in, oh, shouldn't say that? Is that what you mean? Like, I shouldn't say that. I get it. I get it now. Yes, for me, definitely fake plants. I would never hang a kid from ceiling, but they tend to do it. Oh dear, says Danny. Mike does that actually. We grow our grapevines up here. It's kind of like scaffolding poles in our garden with like a crisscross mesh type wire across the top. And Mike every now and then jumps up and just swings on it. I see what you mean now, yes. Shall we move on from that question? What is your favourite landmark that you have visited? Oh, this is interesting. What's your favourite landmark you visited? I'm going to say not necessarily my favourite, but the pyramids in Egypt. And not that it's my favourite, so I will think of a favourite in a minute. But that was the most unexpected because, call me an idiot if you like, I thought the pyramids were in the middle of the desert. Did anyone else think that? I thought when you see them in films and on TV documentaries, you just see desert. And I assumed they were in the middle of the desert. But no, if you don't know, they are not. There's desert beyond them. So if you look at them, you see desert, but they're right in the middle of the city. Literally, there's tower blocks here and the pyramids are here with sand. They are high-rise tower blocks. And the tour guide was going, oh, they're just round the corner here. And I'm like, what? What? And as you go round the corner of one tower block, you suddenly see the pyramids sticking up. I didn't know that. Favourite landmark? I'd love to see the pyramids. We went to see them, and something else was interesting. We went to where they manufacture like their parchment and how they do all the hieroglyphics and all that. That was interesting. That was part of it. And then part of the tour was also to go to a museum and see like some mummified things and things. It's very dangerous there now at the moment, though. So it was starting to get dangerous when we went there. Outside everywhere, they've got, like riot shield type things, but massive ones in front of all public buildings with like armed guards. I don't mean guards standing there. They're like hiding and sandbags all round and all that. And I was like, oh, no wonder the tour guide say you go on the coach, you get off the coach. And we got escorted by riflemen. And I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't kind of realise. Silly me. That was half of our honeymoon, mine and Mike's, because we got married in Cyprus, and then we went on a cruise to Egypt, and then we went on a second cruise to a Greek island. We went to Rhodes. So we had one as like the touristy type holiday, and then the other one as a chill out part of the honeymoon. There's some really cool landmarks in Las Vegas that mocks the real things like Pyramid, Eiffel Tower, Statue of Liberty. I thought that was cool. Have you been then, Danny, to there? I've seen it on like TV and that. And there's one you go in. I don't know what one it's called because they're all called different things. You'll probably know. You go in it, it's like the hotel or whatever, and they've actually got indoors like Venice, like all the canals, and you can go on boats, but it's all indoors, but the ceiling looks like sky, so you feel like you're outdoors, and you can go over bridges, but it's all indoors. I don't know what one that's called. Venice, I'm guessing. Seeing how, as I've never seen the real ones. Oh, sweet. Yes, I've lived there, finished high school about 30 minutes from Vegas in a small town called Pahrump. Is that a real name? Oh, that's a strange word. Pahrump. I'm guessing that is right and not funny fingers. Pahrump. Never heard of that. It's a funny word. Oh, it is right. Okay. Am I saying it right? Pahrump. Never heard of that. Oh, how cool though to be near there. Pa pa pa, you know the Christmas song. Oh, pa rum pa pum pum. Right, got it. Oh, cool. We used to say over the hump to pa rump. Okay. I've never heard of that. Oh, you've educated me. I love people teaching me things on here. I really do. Yeah, so what was the question for me? One thing, oh no, we've done that one. A favourite landmark you've visited. Got favourite country, but I didn't really see a monument, a landmark. What's that just run down the wall? Oh, it's like a dragonfly. Favourite landmark you've visited, landmark. I can say places, but a landmark. I can't think of a landmark. I can think of places. Vegas is crater-like shape surrounded by mountains, and you have to go over the hump to get anywhere outside Vegas. How far is Vegas from the next really built-up place? Because I know Vegas is kind of in the middle of nowhere like that, isn't it? So how far? Because I can only tell you what I've seen on films and that. They seem to drive miles through the desert like the Australian outback. Is it a long, long way from anywhere else? As in, I don't know if you had an issue or broke down or something. It's a long way from civilization. It's just this weird place. I'm guessing. I'm still trying to think of a landmark, an actual landmark. I can't think of anywhere. That sounds really awful. I've travelled quite a lot of the world and I'm trying to think of an actual landmark. No. I have to think about that one. I enjoy going to the birthplace of California in San Diego. There was a lot of historically educational type stuff. I don't know if that's a landmark, much more like a place. Yeah, a landmark, I think, it doesn't necessarily mean a thing, does it? But it's somewhere specific. That's hard. I'll have to think on that. Next one. What would immediately impress you about someone? What would immediately impress you about someone? I like people that do things, to see someone doing something really kind-hearted to someone else quietly. And particularly if that person, let's say they're giving money and refuge to someone and they really can't afford to do that. So if I saw someone quietly helping someone when they themselves weren't in a situation to really do it, let's say, for example, giving their coat away to somebody when it's the middle of the coldest winter you can imagine, and giving their coat to maybe someone on the street and they haven't got money to buy their own coat again. Something like that. That to me, that was so easy to answer. It's 186 miles from Vegas is San Bernardino, California, which will be the next big city, which is also where I was born. I'm learning lots about Danny today. Someone's honesty. Yeah, that's cool. Particularly if it was something really awful to admit to. Yes, that's good. Don't ask how I ended up in Alabama. How did you end up in Alabama? I'm starting to put up on my shorts. It's from a big video, so if you want to see the whole thing, you know down the bottom corner of the short is a square, and if you click on that, it takes you to the full video of anything. And I'm talking about how we chose Cyprus and why we chose Cyprus, and it's from a full video. I'm just taking little bits out of that and putting them up at shorts. Hey V, I've got to write you down because I'm giving you a shout out on my next live. Anyone who pops on. listening while I work my booty off. Bless you. I'll just repeat for anyone who I don't look at people's community posts, so I guess a lot of you probably don't look at mine. I tend to only go on them if someone says, or they haven't appeared when they said they were going to appear, or they go missing for a while, and I assume there's a message there. So I will reiterate one of my recent community posts to say that I've got a volunteer here for a month. So this month, I'm not spending time sitting on YouTube other than my own channel. So I'm not watching any of you guys right now, but be assured I'm catching up with you when she's finished, because my free time, obviously I want to spend with her. She's on her own here, so I don't want to sort of leave her on her own too much. And we want to go out and about the times when I would sit at home and watch your channels. So I'm keeping my channel going as best as possible, but I'm still here. But just to let you know why you won't have heard from me, I am replying in my comments if people put a comment, particularly because I've got a lot of new subscribers. So just be assured I am coming back to you all. And for anyone who's just popped on, if you want to drop me a question in the comments below this video, I'm going to be making another Q&A video of my community asking me questions. They can be funny questions, they can be serious questions about Cyprus or not, just random things. And if you've seen my last two videos where I do that, answering your questions, I do a whole video and I read out your question and I put your channel name, who asked the question, and a little picture of your icon or something. So you get a shout out in the video as I ask your question and answer it. So do that. It's a little shout out for your channels if you're in my community. So drop me a question either under this video or randomly. But if you just randomly drop me a question somewhere and you want it to be answered on there, put this question is for your Q&A. Where are we? Danny says kindness is contagious. It can be, certainly can be. I always say surround yourself with the people that you want to be. So any toxic people, I disappear quickly from that area. Basically, if something becomes toxic, I won't say I walk away from situations, but let's say social media for a start. I won't sit and argue the toss. That's your opinion. And that's it. So off I go. Danny's work. Hello, V. Glad you're still smiling, all of you beautiful people. Oh, you're so lovely, V. Big hugs to you. I'm missing not coming on all your channels. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Last video, I think what I might do, let me write it down. So if I say something, I have to do it. Go to videos in my live. Right, I've just put, I'm going to do all you channels shouting out on Monday, and then I will, in the live, go onto your channels and say what your latest videos are, because I really don't know. This is a first. I don't know what you're all up to. What's free time? Completely understand. This is what free time is. You must have seen my charts. This is my life. This is my life. And I do this so I have free time. I actually make free time. So, for example, Monday, I've got morning, YouTube and anything else. So morning, I have to do these things first. Monday, I do all my food preparation for the week. That's Monday. I film something for my dance channel. I post on New Beginnings, and then I edit the film I made for the dance channel. I edit it, and then I've got a live. And by doing that, Monday's not overwhelming. It's busy continually, but that gets a lot done. Tuesday, I try and go out for a walk first thing, and it has to be first thing because we're in our warmer weather now. Then I've got a new thing I've added are the circles, which is basically do any filming or photography for any channels I need to do for the week. I've got view videos. That actually means what I'm doing at the moment is I've got so many bits of filming that I had on videotape, then Mike converted it to like a CD, like a disc. And now he's tried to convert that and put it all onto my computer for me. So I've got tons of footage now, and I need time to go through those slowly and make videos out of them. Things I know you'll love. There's some really great stuff. So I've got view videos. So basically, I've got a day now allocated to watching a little bit of something and making a film out of it. Then I've got do shorts then because I've got nothing else I have to do, and edit a New Beginnings. Wednesday I make pizza, so I do that first, prep the dough for that, and I post on all 3 channels and do the live. Thursday I try and go out for another walk, and then I do any admin or planning for the week. I've got a board here, what I'm going to film. So I've planned that. So I know I want to make this video, this video, this video. I try and put a community post if there's something to say, do shorts, and edit for Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty and this channel. And Friday, I just post on New Beginnings, edit a New Beginnings. And if I've got any narration to do, talking over the top of footage, I have to do it on a Friday afternoon because Mike's out. He goes shopping. And then that means Saturday is completely free and Sunday is completely free. They are the days that I normally do gardening. And then any other spare time is when I watch videos, you guys. So any of those days, once those jobs are done, that's what I do. So there's that. So that is to ensure I get free time and everything's done all week. Okay, let's see. Next question. Did I answer the last one? Yes. What is worth saving your money for? Things of relevance. Things of relevance, I would say. So I would say, for example, I've just bought out of donation money fruit trees. Now, I wouldn't buy something for myself per se. I wouldn't buy something frivolous, but I feel fruit trees give me pleasure, but they give me food. So I would say that. What's worth saving your money for? Something of relevance. I'm going to say that. So something to benefit your life. So that could be adapted as more or less anything, really, I would say for that. Basically anything. Okay, what is one thing you could never win? What is one thing you could never win? What could you never win? I think you could never win. I could never win the lottery because I don't do it. I'm going to say that. One thing I would never win. I would never win the lottery because I don't do it. Go me. What is the easiest way to make $1,000? Well, you'd have to earn it. I don't believe in just getting things. To make $1,000. There's these stories of, let's say, people. All right, let's adapt a story. So someone buys one nut. They plant that nut. In years to come, they have a tree full of nuts. So you've already multiplied your initial payment of one nut. So it does say easiest. It doesn't say the quickest, but the easiest way is to put money back into something else. So you buy something, do it up, sell it on for a profit. Off to do my shopping for the day. Have a wonderful night. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, do check out the channel. Do check it out. Thanks for being here so much. Really appreciate that. Have lovely shopping. Get something for yourself for a treat. Yeah, so I'd say the easiest way is to buy something or find something. We always walk around and pick up other people what they've dumped. So you could do that. Let's say that then you don't even purchase. You go and pick something up, make it into something, repurpose it, and sell it on. But it does say for $1,000. But then that's a step up the ladder, isn't it? Then you can use that money again to reinvest. I don't know a better answer. Oh, here's a good one for Danny. What two words sound funny together? I'll do English words. What two words sound funny together? Sometimes you say two words together and they sound really cool, don't they? Two words that sound funny together. Two words sound funny together. They've got to be contradictory words, I would say. Contradictory words. Two words that sound funny together. So funny. Those two words, they sound so funny together. So funny. Funny comedy. They sound funny. Yeah, there we go. That's my answer. That's a weird question. I answered it twice. Okay, what's the time? We'll do one more card and then I have to go. One more card. What would be a great name for a new board game? I invented board games when I was younger, and some of them were so good that my dad looked into patent, because that's the only way in those days you could like copyright it for yourself. You had to patent the game. And he looked into that. Oh dear, the cost of that in those days, I don't know now what patents cost, but in those days, and there was all these little twists and turns. Well, you can't patent it as, it's the wording on a patent. It's not saying here's the item, I'm patenting it. It doesn't work like that. You have to patent an aspect. So you can't patent that it's a board game, because there are board games in existence. It kind of has to be a niche that doesn't exist yet. And all the qualities of it, you couldn't patent any part of it. And even if you could, you couldn't then copyright the whole thing, because you couldn't patent it as a whole. So people could take your idea. So basically, even if you got a patent for that, it wasn't worth the paper it was written on. So yeah, so I invented some board games, and I'm creative in that respect. I like to think so. So what would be a good name for a new board game? Well, if you're going to do a new board game now, you've got to do something up to date. So perhaps you would do a board game about, you go around the board and you get certain aspects and have to do certain things to become an influencer or an entrepreneur. That's what I would say. What would I call that then? Going places. That's what I'd call it. Going places. Perhaps it's a bit like a Ludo board, but you can go in any direction. So you might want to go social media route, and maybe there's a path you go around that. Maybe you want to go into acting and films and TV, so you go around the board. Someone's going to make this game now, by the way. You could go around that bit. You could just be, you could choose to go around the bit of board and play that area where it might be creating a product, like an entrepreneur, and you have to go, you can choose sort of your aspect maybe, and then you pick cards, you land on certain bits, says pick a card, and then it says, oh right, you're off sick for a month, so you have to go somewhere else and go around the normal life bit of the board. That'd be quite cool actually, wouldn't it? Yes. I mean, it could be as well, you earn money, you can do as you go around. And you go around doing that, but then maybe like the social media bit, it says about you suddenly lost all your followers through a scandal, and then like you have to start again. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I'd call it going places, because that's a play on words. You choose which area you want to go to. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'll just create that tonight. What's the best thing to do when you're stuck in traffic? Unglue yourself from the vehicles. Unglue yourself from the vehicles. That's the best thing to do when you're stuck in traffic. What is one thing you're better at than any other player? I'm not sporty. Not sporty. And any other player. I like ball games. I do like ball games very much. Games and ball games. I like card games if they're not mathematical. I don't find any fun in adding up numbers and those. I don't mind like Sudoku, because you're not really adding up. But I don't like any games where, or you get like crosswords, but they're sums and all that. To me, that's not fun. So what was it? What is the one thing you're better at than any other player? I'm thinking it's game or sport. I like a good old game of drafts. I like chess, but I like it for fun, not for like strategy. I don't think so many goes ahead. I don't mind a simple game. I'm quite good at Scrabble. I wouldn't say I excel in any game. I just love playing board games. So, yeah, as I say, not sport. Obviously, now I'm a dancer. I was a dancer, but I'm one of those who dancing is not a sport. It's an art. So we're not going to say anything about dancing, because it is not a sport. It is an art, in my opinion. Better at than any other player. All right, then, let's take it. If we're playing a game, what is the one thing you're better at than any other player? I would say I'm the sort of person that would let someone win. And I'm not talking adults. I'm saying, and I'm not saying if a child plays, let them win. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm happy to let someone else win if it's kind of that kind of thing. Maybe. Okay, last question before I go. Let's hope it's a good one. If you made a 5-minute short film, what would be the subject of your movie? Well, that's a good question. If you made a 5-minute short film, what would be the subject of your movie? Obviously, I do YouTube, and I do like to promote where I live. And I'm talking about exactly where I live, not just Cyprus. But what I really like filming is scenery and nature. Scenery and nature. But I would like to do animation. I've got no clue how to even begin animation. I would like to make animation. What would be the subject of your movie? See, I need an actual subject, so I won't just say wildlife. It's got to be fun. 5-minute short film. What would be the subject? I think. Think 5-minute short film. What would be your subject? I'd like to do not a heavy documentary, but a very brief fun. I've done kind of briefly, showed you my stone houses. They're all abandoned stone houses right around me. There's about 4 main areas of abandoned houses, but there are more. And if I could, I'd like to do a documentary, not heavy documentary, but show a picture of the people who used to live there and what it looked like. I can't do that, but that's what I'd like to do. So it would be, these are the people who used to live here. This is what they look like, and this is what the house used to look like. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that. What would I call it? It doesn't say what would I call it, but what would I call it? There used to be an English school program called How We Used to Live. So something sort of based along that, maybe that. Well, guys, it's been absolute fun. I've had some great people in the chat, some really great community spirit there, and chats and laughs and answering the questions. Really appreciate that. And as I say, if anyone wants to be in the Q&A, then do drop me a question in the comments under this video, and I will give your channel a shout out. So until next time, as always, Meraki. Bye, guys.